Yes, welcome to Vision. I'm so glad you're all here this morning. And those of you joining us online, I'm so glad you've chosen to spend some time with us this morning. We're going to stand together and sing out some affirmations together.
I am the life of God. Love is what I am. I am the life of God. Love is what I am. The love that God is, I am. The love that God is, I am. Unbound, unlimited, and free. The life of God is life in me. I am that I am.
How about some joy?
The joy that God is, I am. The joy that God is, I am. Unbound, unlimited, and free. The life of God is life in me. I am that I am. I am the life of God. Love is what I am. I am the life of God. Love is what I am. The love that God is, I am. The love that God is, I am. Unbound, unlimited, and free. The life of God is life in me. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am the life of God.
I'm the life of God. I'm speaking that because if I sang that, you would be really in trouble to hear my singing voice. Good morning. I'm Reverend Lori. I'm one of the staff ministers here at Vision. It's my joy to be with all of you. It's so fun to see the faces here and our online people. If it's okay, I'm going to call you the pajama people, because we've all done it with Zoom. We've all really forgotten what we have below the waist, so I'm just going to pretend it's pajamas. If Patty were here, first of all, I want to throw a shout out for Patty. Every week she is creating and crafting talks that inspire and motivate all of us. She is such a gift. No one knows science of mind and earnest homes like she does. So I just want to start by giving her a round of applause, and I'm sure she's on Zoom, so you Zoom people. Now, if Patty were here, what would she say right now? Let's pray. Go ahead and allow your eyes to close, coming fully present right here and right now in this moment. Taking a big, deep breath with me and letting go. Letting go of all that it took to get here. Letting go of any thought, belief, or idea that does not serve your higher good. For there is just one mind, and that is the mind of God. And each of us is able to tap into that divine mind at any time. And so today, we know that our service is guided and guarded. We know that it is done in complete love and grace. Knowing this and knowing the presence of God works through and as each of us, I know our service to be filled with ease and love and grace. And for that, I am grateful. For that and so much more, I simply say thank you, Mother, Father, God, and so it is. We are a teaching that is founded on the idea of prayer. Prayer changes things because prayer changes us. There are several ways that you can get prayer here at Vision, and all of them are working well, that we are a well-oiled prayer machine. That's what I would like to call us. If you're interested in getting the support of over 25 licensed spiritual counselors, we call those practitioners. And if you're a practitioner or minister, if you could please raise your hand, raise it high. Remember how many classes you took to get here? You might as well get the kudos. There is a prayer form in your bulletin. Just go ahead and fill it out. We have prayer boxes. There are prayer boxes always in the back for you. If you're in need of immediate prayer, where you are not in alignment with the divine and need to be brought back into the fold of love, grace, and joy, you can get a practitioner. What is it, girls and boys? A practitioner session. A practitioner will come here in the front of the room or in one of the side rooms, and you can get prayer specifically for today. And the over on the line folks, if you go following the service, we have a thing called the meet and greet. And that is where you come on like a Zoom call. And if you desire prayer, they're able to put you in a breakout room for confidential prayer. Get support. You are not alone. We are here. We love to be here. We were born to support you. And now we'd like to say our welcome greeting for the new people. Do we have any new people here? If you are here, you don't. Oh, a few. Very, very good. Thank you. We want to welcome you, and we want you to know a little bit about us besides our sparkling personalities saying welcome today. We have a welcome packet that says everything about Vision, what we believe in, what the teaching is all about. So be sure to get that. And now I'm going to introduce the celebration singers for our celebration song. But before, I would like to follow. We have a director here. His name is John Kirko. He probably got his training in Hollywood. He's reminding me that we have to say the prayer or statement that we always say. So let's say that together.
Whoever you are and wherever you are welcome here. You are safe and you are loved.
Every time I say that, I feel good. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the centering song from the Celebration Singers.
I accept, I believe that I have
Good morning. My name is Cindy May. I am one of the licensed practitioners here, and it's my pleasure to invite you into our time of meditation, our silent contemplation. I want to invite you to take these quotations that I'm going to read. They're in your program, but you can just relax and listen to my voice as we go into a 5-minute meditation that is in silence, and then I'll complete with a spiritual mind treatment at the end. So just relax and take a nice deep breath. The tones of the bowl will let you know when the 5 minutes is up, but please stay in that centered place. First, we have the quote, "The three great elemental sounds in nature are the sound of rain, the sound of wind in a primeval wood, and the sound of outer ocean on a beach." And that's from Henry Beston. And from Ernest Holmes, "Back of our smallest act is the strength of the universe. Behind all our thoughts is the infinite thinker. Diffused through every human activity is divine presence." maintaining that focus within, the stillness, that centered place. I speak a word of knowing here, a word of prayer, that the recognition of God continues to unfold more clearly, more ever present. I know that there is no thing outside of God, and so for today, recognizing that unity, that oneness goes with us always. It is us. We take that awareness, we take that knowingness out into our world. And so the truth is that God is always fully present as love, as joy, as peace. In fact, nearer than breathing and closer than hands and feet, this one life is. It is ours. It is the essence of our being. It is as if what we are looking for, we already have that. And so just allowing those things which perhaps have been troubling in the past, just think of them as clouds drifting by. And yes, they've got us to where we are here today, but yet we just let them go and claim the light that's always shining down through those experiences we have out in the world. And I declare that our experiences are filled with love, are filled with joy, are filled with peace. If there's something that's heavy on your heart, what I know is that it can shift in an instant, because the truth is that God resides within us. And as you speak your word and think upon God, upon the beauty and the joy, the prosperity, the wisdom of God is right there, directing us, guiding us. And so we allow our intuition to be fully present. It's something that is wonderful. There's nothing we can do to make it be. It already is. And so today we just accept it, we declare it, and I know that each and every one of us, being that divine light, shines forth this day. Our hearts are open, receptive, and so I simply let this word go. I release it into the law of mind, the law of action through us, and together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Today we have one of our favorite soloists. She's been here with us since the beginning of Vision, and she's the perfect one to sing these two beautiful songs that relate so well to the message. So please welcome Rachel Drexler.
Nothing like pressure and expectation. Here we go. I've seen my share of struggle when I thought that I knew best, when I've sailed through a storm instead of stopping to rest. And it always seems the hardest when I made up my stubborn mind. Well, I'm changing my ways this time. I'm gonna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. I wanna be like water and head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Have you ever seen an eagle head straight to the wind? He doesn't pick a fight, just spreads his wings and gives in. And in the end, he always makes it home just fine. I guess he knows that every storm subsides. I wanna be like water coming down that mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. I wanna be like water and head uphill no more. I am bound for No more thinking that I know where this river's meant to go. I have railed against the stars for the cards that I've been dealt, for the lottery I've never won, for the heartache that I felt. But it always seems when I let go of expectation and regret, life has plenty of surprises for me yet. I wanna be like water coming down that mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. I wanna be like water and head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Wanna be like water coming down that mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, I'll head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. I am bound for the sea. Thank you. The band, yay.
Thank you, Rachel. That was beautiful. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful. Our speaker today is Reverend Diane Russell. Diane is an ordained minister. She's been very active in Vision for the last 10 years, and she currently serves as a staff minister. She is a speaker, teacher, workshop leader, and James Vanderberg is one of her students. She did good. The thing that she likes most about Vision is the open-hearted people and the music. Please help me welcome Diane Russell.
Oh, that was fun, wasn't it? Hang on. Where's this gonna live? All right. So welcome, everybody. Oh, wow, a lot of people are here that weren't here when I sat down. And welcome, hi to those folks on, what did you call them, the pajama people? So I'm continuing this month the theme of living everyday wonder, nature, and my talk is called It's Elemental, which makes me think I should say, it's elemental, my dear Watson. But I'm not going to do that. So a couple of weeks ago, Reverend Patty was talking about how we're all made up of the same essential elements. Basically, we're all the same as every other thing on earth. And we're definitely the same as every other person. We do tend to think of elements as things that cannot be divided, and also that they're the building blocks of other things. So you could call them the Legos of life. I am not a scientist. Get that out of the way right off. Reverend Patty is a lot more sciencey than I am. So if you are someone who likes to listen literally, please today listen for the concept and not the details. Because it's possible I could say something wrong. So up there you see there's this periodic table of the elements. That has over 100 elements. Of course, there are some of them that are way more popular than others. Our human bodies are primarily made up of 6 elements. They are oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, and phosphorus. These make up 99% of us, so that's like right up to here. Then there's another 5 elements that make up less than 1%. The tiny little bit that's left over, that is like 15% of 1%. Those are called trace elements.
Some of them are important. Even though they're that tiny little bit, they're very important for life. And some of them are not, but we're walking around with them anyway because we either breathe them in or we pick them up somewhere. So, guess what the trees outside are made out of? They're made out of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, the same things as we are. So are the plants, so are our animal friends. The combinations or the proportions may be different, but the ingredients are all the same. So here's the thing about ingredients being the same. If I gave every one of you a bag with the exact same supplies in it, and I told you, make something out of this, everyone would make something different. However many folks are in here, we'd have that many different things, plus even the folks online. I believe that's what Spirit does. This one creates. And so, even though we're made out of the same ingredients, Spirit is having fun making us each a little different. Personally, I can't imagine how fun that would be. Oh, look, let's try the red hair today. Oh, look, let's make the blue eyes. This creative impulse is exactly why I cannot decorate my house. Because I can't choose just one thing. There's so many choices. Oh, let's go with the beachy theme. Oh, what about something more traditional? Oh, this rattan, it's so cute. What about the pop of color? And those little tiny bits that we just called trace elements, they're in there like potassium or magnesium. Those little things, they can change everything if they're out of balance, even though it is just a tiny little bit. If you've ever baked a cake and you accidentally left out the baking soda or that little half a teaspoon of salt, you'll still end up with a cake. It just won't be what you expected. I have a dear friend who bakes a batch of muffins every week. And one day she let me know that the muffins were headed to the trash and she was starting over. So of course I asked, why would you do that? And it seems that when she reached for the cinnamon, she got the chili powder. So it's only a tiny ingredient, but it did change everything. If you know that you are the sibling of the tree or the clouds or the birds or really all of life, and definitely of each other, how do you act differently? Do you treat our earth family with respect or kindness and compassion? Are you doing that now? Or do you need to make a course correction? Before we knew about these elements, this big old giant list, our ancestors knew the elements to be water, earth, wind, and fire. It's all they knew. And these are the elements that controlled their lives. Indigenous or native peoples, they had great respect and reverence for the forces of nature, and they learned to live in concert with them, with the earth and with its rhythms. I was recently introduced to the work of someone named Brian Swim. He's a professor at the California Institute for Integral Studies in San Francisco, and he teaches evolutionary cosmology to students in the Philosophy, Cosmology, and Consciousness program. Doesn't that sound just like us? His original PhD was in mathematics, and he has this big long list of credentials and accomplishments and so on. And he also founded a place called the Center for the Story of the Universe. And in a magazine article, it said that he is at the forefront of a new movement that integrates science and spirituality. That is us. That's what we are. In the Science of Mind textbook, the very first line, it's Dr. Holmes says, "We all look forward to the day when science and religion shall walk hand in hand through the visible to the invisible." So we were ahead of Dr. Swim, sorry. But he's a pretty cool dude. I saw him on a TEDx talk, and he's sciencey, but doesn't sound sciencey. And a quote from one of his books is, "If you look at the disasters happening on our planet, it's because the cosmos is not understood as sacred. A way out of our difficulty is a journey into the universe as sacred." He talks about how 14 billion years ago, I wasn't there then, but 14 billion years ago, the universe started as something smaller than an acorn. It expanded until it is now this. There's 2 trillion galaxies, and each has 100 billion stars. Don't do the math. Just know that's a really big number. And he says, that should boggle your mind. He's so cute. Anyway, he also says all of the hydrogen atoms of our body come from a time almost 14 billion years ago. Each of us has been assembled by the universe. We knew that, right? The hydrogen atoms come from a very, very beginning. And then later on, the stars explode and they give birth to calcium atoms and phosphorus atoms. So those parts of us come from them. And our cells still have the same dynamics of the first early cells. So each of us is a 14 billion year construction. Cool, huh? And of course, all that star stuff is in us. We're made out of star stuff. And remember the metaphysician Joni Mitchell? She said, "We are stardust, we are golden, we are billion-year-old carbon." Dr. Swim is quoted as saying also, "This is the greatest discovery of the scientific enterprise. You take hydrogen gas and you leave it alone for 13 billion years, and it turns into rose bushes, giraffes, and humans." I love that. I love that because it is exactly what Reverend Patty was talking about last week, that we are unity that expresses as diversity. In a book called This Thing Called Life, Dr. Holmes says this, "Let us start with the simple proposition that life, which is spirit or intelligence, is the solo and only creative agency in the universe. This life principle always existed and will always continue to exist. You are part of its self-expression. Therefore, the whole desire of life is to give you more life. And since it is all life, it has all life to give to you. It loves you because in creating you, it has given some part of itself to you. You are dear to life, beloved by it. In creating you, it has poured itself into you. You could not ask for greater love than this, and more love could not be given." Oh, that's so beautiful. Now, if you are a maker of things, you know that you always impart part of yourself into the thing you're making. You are cooking and you're infusing the food with love. You're sewing and your love goes into that thing with every stitch. You're working with wood and you're giving love and appreciation first for the beauty of the wood and then second for the thing that you're making. we're thinking of the recipient of our gift, and we're passing the love we have for them into the thing that we make. This is the way that Spirit shares its generosity and its love, and we do the same. Because we're made of the same stuff, these elements, as everything around us, we resonate with or have an affinity for certain parts of nature. For example, some folks feel the most enlivened yet peaceful in the mountains, while others of us feel that peaceful sacredness around water, the ocean, the seaside, the rivers. Some folks need a tree bath, and so the forest is their place. Whatever your place is, be sure that you are including it in your activities often, because it's needed, first of all, to rejuvenate, and also to remember the sacred in our lives. And if you must, schedule that date with yourself, because sometimes just thinking about it doesn't get us there. When you're in nature, it's easy to see beauty, it's easy to feel the sacred, it's easy to find peace, and of course to see Spirit everywhere. This happens naturally and without effort. It can also bring you to your knees, and besides the awe and wonder, you might feel great respect or even fear of its power and its strength. For many years, I've had a relationship with the wind and the sea. I spent 15 or 16 years working on a tall ship, sailing to Northern Channel Islands, Santa Barbara, Catalina. And before you say, I didn't know you did that, because somebody might say that, let me say that it was volunteer, even though it was the hardest work I've ever done. And as the crew, we each one took turns standing watch, we hauled lines, we climbed aloft, we furled the sails, all the work that goes into keeping the traditional sailing methods alive. When one is standing watch at midnight, there are 1 million stars in that black, dark night. And if you're the one on deck at sunrise or sunset, the colors are breathtaking. I've been at sea when there were beautiful, strong winds and we just sailed along at a clip, and other times when it was dead calm and we just floated and waited until some puff of wind came up. That was puff of wind. I've been aloft when it's 80 feet off the deck and it's raining and there's lightning and everything is super slick and wet. For the last year and a half, I worked as a cook on a research vessel. We took scientists and graduate students out to study sea life and ocean patterns. They studied the turbulence under the ocean or what's in the mud at the bottom of the sea. We picked up a lot of plankton. There were times when it was so rough that just staying upright was a chore, and keeping the food on the stove was a whole second chore. And I'm mentioning these stories to show that the same element that can be so beautiful and so sacred or useful when harnessed must also be respected for its power and its strength. I found a quote by Christopher Paolini, he's an author, and he said, "The sea is emotion incarnate. It loves, hates, and weeps. It defies all attempts to capture it with words and rejects all shackles. No matter what you say about it, there is always that which you can't." Now, you may be the person who has your affinity in the cragginess of the desert, or the lush green of the foresty places, or with the four-legged animals, big or small. When I was a little person. There was a time. I remember once asking my mom why my grandpa didn't go to church. And she said that grandpa saw God in this patch of dichondra he kept trying to grow. I'm fairly sure that anyone who has a garden sees God or spirit in the activity of the garden, the growing of the plants, and the digging of the dirt. It matters not what part of nature you're connecting with, just that you do. In communing with nature, we are communing with spirit and with each other. We are remembering from whence we came, so to speak. And by taking that step, which I consider self-care, that is self-care, we are also caring for others because we will emerge kinder, more gracious, and forgiving. In our everyday language, we sometimes talk about the elements. We use them to describe people or their behaviors. We might talk about someone being solid as a rock, or grounded, or hard-headed. We might know folks that are on fire, or they have a fiery temper. We know the ones that go with the flow, and others that are bubbly, or buoyant, or full of hot air. Just as we have these foundational elements in nature, we have our foundational elements in this teaching. Our elements in science of mind are our beliefs or principles, and our activities or our spiritual practices. Of course, you all know what those are, right? But I'm going to tell you anyway. So the first thing is, God is all there is. God created this universe and everything in it out of itself. It does this by self-contemplation, which is thinking, and that creates form. This is not different from what science says, but is in alignment with it. All these elements we've talked about were created by and from spirit. Because God is all there is, and that makes us siblings with all of life, including all the rocks and trees and people, even the ones we like and the ones we don't, it would be wise for us to be good stewards of our planet and our resources. Walk softly on the earth. Dr. Swim says, it was out of the dynamic of cosmic celebration that we were created in the first place. We are to become celebration and generosity burst into self-awareness. What is the human? The human is a space, an opening, where the universe celebrates its existence. That's beautiful. Okay, second point, consciousness is everything. Now this can be a little bit tricky. We do know to pay attention to our thoughts, but we have beliefs that we're not aware of. They're well hidden and long-standing. Actually, they're pretty easy to discover. You take a look at your life, and if what's going on in your life is not what you're thinking about or affirming, then you have a belief that needs to be uprooted and replaced. You can think of that as weeding your garden or cleaning the garage of your mind. And if you need help with that, that's when you call a practitioner or you take a class. The thing about consciousness is that besides our own consciousness, we have to be aware of the collective consciousness beliefs, like thoughts about what men can do versus women, thoughts about aging, thoughts about health or the lack of it, finances, the economy, and so forth. We don't have to buy into any of that. Those are other folks' beliefs. They don't have to be ours. My favorite quote from Dr. Holmes, everybody take out a pencil, write this down. It's on page 141 of the Science of Mind textbook, and it says, unless we are able to provide the consciousness, spirit cannot make the gift. So, consciousness to everything. Okay, after those two concepts, there really isn't anything else to know. But we do have spiritual practices, which are also elemental. The top one is, of course, being our form of affirmative prayer. We call it spiritual mind treatment. This is foundational. It's a building block to your changed consciousness. And after that, of course, we have affirmations. We even get to practice those later. You can read positive material, you can sing, you can walk in nature, you can dance, get out of your house, do some moving, walking in the neighborhood, meditation, all of that. The thing is, your spiritual practice will be yours and does not need to be any particular way or form. It's as individual as you are. The main thing is to have one. Take time to remember how beloved you are and how vital and integral you are to the universe. Take time to commune with that part of you that knows that the very stars shine on you and that you are star stuff. Take time to remember that we are part of something bigger than we are, and that it loves us, and that we can use it when we remember that life is sacred and so are we. And remember that you are the light, and your light makes a difference to me and to each other and to the world. Thank you.
Those few of you who are old enough to remember Woodstock. Actually, wait a minute, is that the one we're doing? No, wait, we're not doing that one. Oh, yeah. We'll find this song beautiful, which makes no sense. We changed a Woodstock song to, that's right. That's why I had my intro, really, I had my intro ready for the past week, but we changed the song. But you'll like this one. This is Carole King. Okay. You got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people gonna treat you better. They're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. Waiting at the station with the workday window blowing, I got nothing to do but watch the passers-by. Mirrored in their faces I see frustration blowing, and they don't see it showing. Why do I? You got to get up every morning with a smile on your face. Show the world all the love in your heart, and then people gonna treat you better. They're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. I have often asked myself the reason for the sadness in a world where tears are just a lullaby. And if there's any answer, maybe love can end the madness. Maybe not, but oh, we can only try. You got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. And then people gonna treat you better. They're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful as you feel. Hey, great band. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. So good to see you. I feel like I haven't been here in a while. Yeah. Anyways, I could be off on that. Now is our time for conscious circulation. This is a sacred time that is where we are giving and receiving, experiencing the flow of life, knowing that our abundance and prosperity flows always through us in all ways. Let's go ahead and sing our circulation song. And now is time for our Miracle Minute. This is a time when we share answered prayer. We know that prayer changes everything, and because it changes up. I don't think Patty received any right now, but I had a Miracle Minute last evening. Last evening was the choir's annual potluck summer party. We had 25 people there and 25 different dishes that we could have to eat. And the miracle was that I didn't stuff myself. And now the last word, Johnny Kirkle.
Is something missing here or what?
Yeah, where's the girl from Ethan?
Yeah, exactly. I love you guys. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody online. So, today is the second week of our continued hospitality. So those of you in the room are very fortunate. We are going to have some food right after our celebration. So join us for that. We'll have tables set up in the back. Join us for some nice food. And everybody who brought some, thank you very much for doing that. We're going to continue doing that each week right after our celebration like we used to do. If you're online, we have our Vision meet and greet. We'd love to have you join us for that. As it was mentioned earlier, we do have practitioners available for one-on-one prayer, as well as just saying hello to our community, abroad. So thank you for being with us. So last week, Reverend Lori Oberly Edwards mentioned about her class, the Energy Codes. She's moved it up, so the class is not starting this week. It's going to be on the 25th, I believe. So if you still want to join Lori for that, you can. You can see a little bit of information about that online and sign up for her class. It is an online class only. So next week is our Vision Variety Show. Yay! So if you have not been a part of the Vision Variety Show, you need to come because it's all of us. It is Vision people coming up here and performing for you. And there's going to be all kinds of things. There's going to be comedy acts. There's going to be music. There is going to be poetry. There's going to be all kinds of fantastic stuff. So join us for that. It's a week from this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. I'm sorry, Wednesday night. Let me get it right. Wednesday night. And we start at 7 p.m. Tickets are available in the Resource Center or online. Join us for that. We'll also be doing that online as well. So if you want to be a part of that, we are going to have some fun. I want to mention also in September we're having a special concert of Carl Anthony. Anthony will be with a mantra. Will be here in this room. He does such a cool show. He will be setting up his lights and all kinds of stuff. The tickets are available online as well as in the bookstore. They're $25 a piece. Join us for that concert too. It's going to be good stuff. So Adopt-A-Bill. We mentioned the Adopt-A-Bill program. We have been doing this now for a couple weeks. I want to thank everybody who has been a part of the Adopt-A-Bill program. You guys have rocked it. And the way it's working is we have a board out inside of our lobby, and all of the bills that we have set up for the whole year are sitting there. And if you want to adopt a bill for that period of time, you rip it off on the board and bring it into Paul in the bookstore, or you can do it online, and you can be a part of that. I didn't bring any bills with me. There's no bills here with me. So Bill, so when you adopt a bill, you get a bill. Just like, when you adopt a dog, you go home with a dog. Well, you get a little bill. And they're cute little puppies and all kinds of different things. They're stuffies and all kinds of good stuff. So I didn't bring one with me. So when you do the Adopt-A-Bill, you get to bring one home with you. So please, don't leave the bills in the bookstore. Thank you, Dan. Next week, Reverend Patty Paris will be back. Her talk title is Loving All Life, and we have the special music, DeAndre Simmons. How about Rachel Drexler today? Love Rachel Drexler. Also want to mention happy birthday to Gloria Brockman, Betty Brink, and Christy Peterson. Thanks, guys.
Great. And now we're going to select an affirmation that we're going to use all week. Go ahead and stand. We have 3 of them, so let's start with number 1.
I am like the wind, free-flowing and open to spirit. I am like the water, cleansing and letting go. I am like the earth, producing and giving.
Okay, hold up your fingers. 1, 1, 2, 2, 1. No, I'm not going to count them. I see number 1 because Andinopoly in the back says number 1. We're following your lead. Let's read it. I am like the wind, free-flowing and open to spirit. Beautiful. Take that into your hearts. As we close out in prayer, knowing that Spirit is all there is, we take in the words and the wisdom from our service today. Allow these words to sink in, feeding and nurturing the divine that is within each of us. I know that we are filled with love. I know that we radiate love and do not seek love, for we know that the peace of God is within us. And so on this week, I know joy, ease, and kindness. And so we spew forth all of those into our world, making it a better place all around us, and so it is.
And so it is.